Hello everybody. Today's video we're going to try to show you the two strategies that we're working on with our students called Make 10, used in addition, and Take 10, used in subtraction. Now we understand that this is going to seem very different to the parents because you didn't learn math this way, but if you watch along you're going to see how a lot of what we're doing is the same math that you do mentally by yourself. So let's start with Make 10. In Make 10 we're using addition. So let's start with the fact 54 plus 8. What we want to do is we want to make 10 in order to make our addition a little bit more simple for the students. So we look at our 4 in the ones place and we ask ourselves 4 plus what will equal 10? The answer is 6. So we're going to break our 8 into a 6 and to a 2. Your children are familiar with looking at numbers this way, and you may have seen it in some of the work they've come home where this builds a number bond. So we're going to take the 54 and we're going to add the 6 to it to get to our next 10. Our next 10 is 60. So we've used our 54, our 8 is gone, we just used our 6, and all we're left with is our 2. So we're now going to take that 60 and we're going to add 2 and get the answer 62. Now if we think about what this looks like in a number line and in our heads when we do mental math, we're going to start at 54. And oftentimes parents, adults, teenagers say, let me get to my next 10. My next 10 is 60, so I have to make a jump of 6, which leaves me another jump of 2. The answer being 62. What I'd like you to do, after I put this next problem on the screen, is I'd like you to look at it, hit the pause button, solve this using the Make 10 way and using a number line for count on. This time, let's try 26 plus 7. Go ahead and hit pause and solve it. Okay, so now we're back. If you follow the same procedure, you're going to look at the 6, the number in the ones place, and you're going to say 6 plus what will equal 10? 6 plus 4. So we're going to break our 7 into a 4 and a 3. So we now have that number bond. 4 plus 3 is 7. We're now going to use our 26. We're going to add 4, and we're going to get 30. We now have our 3 left over, so we're going to do 30 plus 3 equals 33. If we look at that same problem on a number line and count on, we're going to start with 26, and we're going to make a jump of 4 to get to 30. Still leaves me with a jump of 3, and that's going to bring me to 33. The idea behind this at this point is that if we can get to a 10, we can then add whatever is remaining and go to our next number. We could do this with a number bigger than a 10 if we wanted to. So let's do this with 34 and 17. Well, 4 plus what will get us to our next 10? 4 plus 6. So we're going to break our 17 into a 6 and an 11. 34 plus 6 gets us to 40. We still have our 11. 40 plus 11 equals 51. We don't expect the students to have this mastered yet, but as we continue in the year, you're going to see where this understanding is going to help them with larger and larger numbers. Now let's shift our attention to Take 10. Take 10 is going to be used for subtraction. So let's start with 73 minus 8. We're going to take 10 from the subtrahend, and that's going to leave us with a 63 and a 10. Again, you can see how it forms a number bond. Then what we're going to do to start is we're going to do 10 minus 8 is 2. Our 73 was broken up. We've used our 10. We've used our 8. We're still left with 63. So we're going to take that 63 and we're going to add the 2 back to it to get an answer of 65. Oftentimes, parents will go ahead and they'll round that 8 up to a 10 and do 73 minus 10 and then add that 2 right back to it. So again, it's what we're doing in our heads very often. I'm going to put another one on the board. I'd like you to hit the pause button again, solve it, and then come back to look at the answer. This time, let's do 54 minus 5. All right. In Take 10, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our subtrahend again, and we're going to take 10 away from it, which leaves us with a 44 and a 10, our new number bond. We're now going to subtract the minuend from the 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. We still have our 44. 44 plus the 5 equals 49. As we move towards the traditional math that the parents are used to, you'll understand a little bit better, and you'll see where this idea of Take 10 fits into your concept of borrowing from the tens to subtract in the ones place. So just so that you remember, make 10 for addition and take 10 for subtraction are strategies. Strategies that we're trying to teach the students so that they can solve using their basic math facts, so that they're not having to count on their fingers. The number line that you saw me use, the fingers that children use, the models that they might draw with their base 10 blocks, or the discs, are tools that students are using in order to solve problems. These strategies will continue to grow and help your children solve their math equations. Please let your teacher know if you still have any questions about how to use Make 10 or Take 10.